It is indeed New Orleans, Louisiana. Corey Johnson back at you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. In just a few minutes, Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc.'s going to join us. Yeah, you right. Like getting Michael Hecht on the program. Coming up in about 30 minutes from, oh yeah, Michael Hecht. Oh no. Fletcher, what's the sheet say? Michael? I don't know how to pronounce it. He's with WDSU Sports. He apparently does sports with the NBC affiliate Channel 6 here in town. Fletcher Michael is going to join us in about 30 minutes. These producers set up the program. I'm not familiar with some of the guests. If I mispronounce their name, I apologize. Fletcher Michael, I think. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. I like being able to kind of decompress a little bit, you know. Big week, all kind of stuff going on. The Sewerage, Water, and Drainage Board, all these potential changes. Folks within New Orleans city government that are kind of entrenched, freaking out, you know, taking away city control, giving it to the state. You know, it's like, boy, the city's been on a downward spiral for a good 40 years plus. Let's let someone else control it. Boy, the state's been on a downward spiral for like 40 years plus. Are they the ones to control it? Anyway, I'm welcoming change. And the fact that a lot of forces that be within the city, the political system, are kind of losing it a little bit mentally. Some of that's a good thing. I'm in the wait and see mode. I'm giving Jeff Landry, someone we all know I'm not a big fan of, giving him a long rope. Let him figure it out. Let him do his thing. Boy, a pretty amazing weather day out there on this Fantasy Friday, huh? How ridiculous is this weather? How nice of a day is today? Just glorious weather we've been having. Anyone complaining early morning like it's a little cold, it's a little windy? Don't, because in like 3 weeks, all of that will be in the rearview mirror for a good 6 months. 2 seasons in New Orleans, right? Our summer heat and humidity season and our non-summer heat and humidity season. We're on the very tail end. This is like an extra day. This is like gravy right now, lagniappe. We're on the very tail end of that non-summer 6-month weather trend, and we're about to enter the 6 months of heat and humidity. So I'm enjoying these cool, crispy mornings. And I'm enjoying these blue, sunny skies and temperatures barely creeping into the 70s. Like yesterday, did we even hit 70? Seriously, just fantastic. Tough to beat. Speaking of yesterday, you LSU fans out there, check it out on Twitter. At Corey Johnson on Twitter. Corey spelled Kaare. I had on TAF attorney Charles Landry yesterday on the program, breaking down this new LSU Baton Rouge arena, like $250 million showplace that will be for LSU athletics, but built by private investors, and they pretty much get all the dates outside of 85 or 90 that LSU gets. The other 250 days of the year belong to them, concerts, promotions, all of that stuff. They own the building. They lease the building from TAF. Subleasing, actually, because TAF is going to lease it from LSU if all goes as planned. And then a $350 million privately financed showplace, a palace, like one of the premier arenas in all of college sports, and one that I would venture to say is superior to a few NBA arenas. probably will surpass the New Orleans Arena, Smoothie King Center. Yeah, you right. Thursday afternoon. Yeah, different financial model. LSU's using it like Texas did. Privately financed. They'll own the building. LSU gets the folks that are building the arena on LSU's campus, they want LSU. They want LSU's campus. They want LSU as a tenant. They want it as LSU's home. They want that on TV all the time, all the hype. Otherwise, they go build the building somewhere else. Just doesn't have the value of a building that's on LSU's campus. So that's a big card that LSU gets to play against the investors. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. joining us in about 60 seconds. Yeah, you right. Fantasy Friday, I said. The weekend's upon us. And it looks like a pretty darn good one, by golly. Looks like a good weather weekend. Jason's at the controls, fielding your phone calls. Rouse's Markets phone line, 766-9480. 766-9480. Yuck, I see some 80s on the horizon. Maybe Sunday, Monday, Tuesday creeping into the 80s. That's no fun. Oh, boy, Blue Boy's barking. Yep. Hey, don't ask me. You leave me at the controls of that thing and we could have real problems. You better start from scratch. And all I can do is, mess that thing up. It's not good when I go on the other side of the glass. I used to know how to operate every piece of radio equipment, everything at the studio on remote. And then as time went on and I got older, just didn't have the passion for knowing all of this stuff that really I don't really need to know anything about. But just in the beginning, I learned like everything there was to learn. Anyway. Enough of that. Jason's at the controls. He's fielding your phone calls. Rouse's Markets phone lines are open. 766-9480. 766-9480. Michael Hecht joining us on the program. You want to dial him up? We're going to visit with Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans Inc. I'm mentioning Rouse's. Have you been in a Rouse's lately? First off, I'm dying to go to get this on the TV commercial, that Italian. It's a frozen pizza, pepperoni pizza, which I never eat a frozen pizza. It's from Italy. I'm giving that bad boy a try. I love the olive oil. But the Rouse's right now, just aroma of crawfish in each and every Rouse's. They've got a crew that boils crawfish all day long. That's all they do, boil crawfish. Rouse's Markets, tastes like home. You want hot from the pot, boiled crawfish, hot from the pot. Rouse's Markets. You like to boil them yourself? You got the boil going tonight, taking advantage of this incredible weather with friends. Live by the sack crawfish, Rouse's Markets. Tastes like home, Rouse's Markets, crawfish season at Rouse's. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Hecht joins us from Greater New Orleans Inc. What up, Miguel?
Hey, KJ, it's that time of year, right?
I mean, I had someone complaining the other day that it was a little cool in the morning. I'm like, you better embrace this. In about 3 weeks, it's going to be getting hot and humid. No, the weather outside is perfect, huh?
Yeah, it's gorgeous. It's lovely. It's that March, April time. It's just magical. This in October, it's just, golly, it's awfully nice. I just walk around with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
It's not if you're paying attention.
Now, Michael, you've been doing this a couple of decades. You bring people in, they fly into the city. You deal with what you deal with. If it's a rainy day, you pick them up and it's rainy. But when it's a day like this, it's just like, all right, things are rolling.
Oh, yeah. you don't have to say anything. You just kind of say, all right, yeah. You just drive them down St. Charles and don't say a word. You know, what's in your wallet?
Yeah.
How are things in Houston?
Yeah, exactly. No doubt. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans, Inc. Getting started a little late with you, Michael. I'm going to knock out a quick break, come right back, jump on a bunch of topics. This segment, by the way, on a Friday with Michael, always brought to you by Latrim, the global manufacturing giant. They're hiring. For a full listing of positions available, go to latrim.com. Latrim spelled Laitram, latrim.com. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Did you know Rouse's sells only Angus beef? Angus beef's natural marbling means more succulence and flavor. Whether you choose Rouse's USDA Prime, Choice, or Select, it'll be only Angus beef when you get it at Rouse's. Tastes like home.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool, New Orleans. NolaAC.com is your cool spot.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
The French bread of the city of New Orleans. Good to the last crumb. Leidenheimer French bread.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Yeah, you right, Crescent City and beyond. Corey Johnson back at you on a Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. Hey, Michael, kind of what you were saying a little bit yesterday when you joined us to talk about the Sewage Water and Drainage Board potentially. Rainwater in an interview was saying kind of the same stuff like, hey, City of New Orleans, get your you-know-what together and we don't have to do anything.
Yeah, I mean, I think he kind of, explained. Yeah, I mean, and clearly he's speaking, on behalf of the governor by saying that, like, all right, we got your attention, now get your act together, right? And, that's probably a useful and healthy message, right?
I think so. I think dramatic change is needed. I don't care if it comes from the left, the right. At this point, even if it's extreme left or right, just the way we've been going for 40 or 50 years as a state and as a city is not working. And the only folks that really seem to be upset are the folks that are like politically entrenched.
Yeah, about the change. No, yeah. I mean, I was going to say that the current structure of our Sewer and Water Board is going down the drain, but if only.
Yeah, no, that would be nice. That would be nice.
Clogged.
Hey, Michael, on the North Shore, what is it? A big gear company? What are they building over there? What are they making? And boy, nice jobs, $100,000 plus a year.
Yeah, this is this is our advanced manufacturing sector, and sometimes it's sexy stuff like building rockets, and sometimes it's stuff that you don't really think about, like the gears that go into the defense industry. But these guys, Horsburgh and Scott, they're out of Cleveland, Ohio, old company, 135 years old. But it's going to be, 40 direct jobs at an average salary of $100,000 a pop, plus a bunch of indirect ones. And that's, that those are real solid, jobs you can get with an associate's degree from a Delgado or, North Shore Technical Community College. So, yeah, this is a nice, solid type of win. It's not going to get huge headlines, but I'll take these all day.
How did you lure this Cleveland company to the North Shore?
Well, it's, Slidell has a lot of really good manufacturing facilities there. It's got the space for them to put the 35,000 square feet, excellent access to I-10, and it's got access to, in between everything that's going on in Mississippi at Stennis and over our way, down at Michoud. So it's a good location, actually, from an intermodal standpoint, workforce standpoint, good incentives. It's just kind of a natural place for them to be.
Did you see this Axios piece, America's new innovation hotspots mapped?
I did. I'm gonna make it my Sunday night highlight, I think. But I asked the team, I said, okay, this is interesting because it shows that we're one of the places where was one of the biggest increases in patent activity. And so, okay, let's be careful about, the math of that. Like, what did we go from 1 patent to 3? And so it's, a 200% increase. I mean, let's just know what we're saying. But I think more interestingly is I want to know where these patents are coming from, what their nature is, because that's the interesting story. Are they in energy? Are they coming out of LSU or Tulane? Where are they coming out of? So we're going to dig in a little bit and see if we can get a little more detail so that we can, talk about it. Because, regardless of how small the base was, it's obviously going in the right direction.
Could be coming out of Latrim.
Undoubtedly, a number of them are coming out of Latrim. Latrim, has more patent activity than Tulane, I believe. I mean, it's a extraordinary culture of innovation at Latrim. I mean, I sound like an ad, but it's true.
Hey, what was going on in Houston?
This Houston conference is pretty amazing. It's called CERO. It was started by a guy named Daniel Yergin, who's kind of the premier guy about energy in the world. And it's essentially the Davos of energy. I mean, everybody was there. The CEO of Exxon, Chevron, Shell, Saudi Aramco, all of the alternative places like Copenhagen Infrastructure Partners, Energy Secretary Granholm, Walter Isaacson, Ernest Munez, the former Energy Secretary. And what's so interesting about it is how excited everybody is about energy transition, because the world's demanding it. And now the Inflation Reduction Act, which is really kind of a misnomer, it's really an energy bill, has created incentives that has these companies wanting to dump tens of billions of dollars into energy transition. And it just so happens that nobody is better positioned in terms of geology, infrastructure, and politics even than Louisiana. So I'm working on an op-ed right now, Corey. I think that energy transition is our best, if not last hope as a state, because it's something that we really have a legitimate claim to. We're better at it than almost any place else in the country. We've been doing it for decades. And we're talking about an industry that's going to be a $5 trillion industry by 2030.
Yeah, and let's not miss the energy thing when it's green and clean, since we dealt with it when it was not,
Exactly. And look, even some of our, traditional companies like Log out of Covington, they're doing traditional energy, but they're doing it in a cleaner way. So they have a new asset called Salamanca that's going to be about 250 miles off the coast of New Orleans in 7,000 feet of water. But instead of building a new rig, they're taking an old one from another company called Anadarko, and they're repurposing it. So that's going to save about 70% of the carbon that would take if they had made a new one out of steel. So you're seeing it across the board. It's not just the $1 billion new solar facility in New Iberia or all the biofuels or carbon capture. It's even stuff happening in oil and LNG. So I'm very excited about it, very pleased about it.
Flood insurance.
Flood insurance. I was able to interview a guy named David Marstead, who runs flood insurance for the country, in a conference in Scottsdale. And, we had drinks the night before because they wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be a total mess on the stage, a total Maury Povich kind of situation. And I said, look, I'm not here to attack you. We just want to figure out how to make this program affordable and understandable for people. I want to know if I'm going to, make the expense of fortifying my roof or raising my house. How is that going to benefit me in terms of rates? I want to know that the levees that have been built, even if they're not federal, that we're getting credit for them. I want to know that if I'm on a fixed income, I'm not going to get thrown out of my house. And I think that he actually generally agreed. So it was a constructive conversation. We've got our Coalition for Sustainable Flood Insurance, which is about 250 organizations around the country. And we're going to keep pushing, not to abolish Risk Rating 2.0, but just to actually make it fulfill its promise, which was to be a more equitable and more accurate way of doing flood insurance.
Michael,
so we have ways to go, but I think we'll get there.
Michael Hecht's with us from Greater New Orleans Inc. on a Friday. Hey, what's going on with wind power? Texas seems to have in their that angle in the Gulf where they are a little more high winds, more predictable winds, seems more advantageous for wind farms there, coupled with the population. But things are shifting. It's winds of change, Michael. What's going on?
Very good. Well, this one, I'd like to say that we're taking some of Texas's hot air. But what's happening there, which is to their detriment and our benefit, is that despite the fact that Texas produces more renewable power than any state in the country, about 1/3 of the power in Texas is either wind or solar from the west of Texas, the governor has decided that it's politically advantageous to attack it. So these companies are looking at it, and the federal government, they're saying, well, across the board, including wind, it seems that Louisiana is looking at this as more of an economic opportunity than a political football. So they're putting these leases as close as they can to Louisiana to try to, I think, send a signal that they want this activity to happen in the places that are going to be more politically welcoming and stable. And so, my feeling is when we get the chance, we have to mess with Texas. So if they're going to dither because they don't want to admit that they've done very well with their onshore wind, so they're going to pretend they don't want to do offshore, then fine. Let us do it as long as it actually makes economic sense.
More welcoming. What are some of the local woes that need to be solved?
Well, this was a survey done by Biz New Orleans, and I mean, it didn't tell us anything we don't already know, but it's good to hear it repeated.
Yep.
They are, crime, infrastructure, and insurance. Those are, and of those right now, the crime is improving. We are down this year. I think we're down about 30%, 35% off of where we were 2 years ago in terms of homicide, and we continue to go down. The flooding is really what has me worried right now, because if we had a Hurricane Harvey that sat on top of us and dumped 60 inches of rain for 3 days,
yep,
we wouldn't have the velocity impacts of a Katrina, but we would fill up like a bathtub. It would be super no bueno. So, and by the way, we talked about this. It's not even about building the bioswales and all the fancy new green stuff, which I think we should do. Right now, it's about getting the beads and beer cans out of the catch basins,
yep,
and getting the cars out of the canals.
Wow.
If we did that, our system would actually work pretty well most of the time.
Yeah, the hose wouldn't be so clogged up, that's for sure. Hey,
yeah, you always have to come back and start talking about the hose. But
yep. Michael Hecht, it's a Friday. That's why. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll see you next week.
Hose got to eat too, Corey.
That's right. Michael Hecht joining us from Greater New Orleans, saying, don't move, New Orleans.
Here.
Wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience. Right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
For Leidenheimer Baking Company, producing the perfect French bread is more than a vocation. It's a sacred mission. And for 5 generations, they've used the same time-honored process, baking their signature loaf with its crisp crust and delicate center, unique and still good to the last crumb. From the finest French Quarter restaurants to your local po' boy shop, for over 125 years, New Orleans' own Leidenheimer.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today, and we'll meet our competitive prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
When USA Today ranked the 10 best must-visit New Orleans restaurants for travelers, Mid-City's own Katie's made the list. USA Today says Scott Craig is chef-owner at Katie's, a much-loved Creole Italian eatery that draws armies of regulars for lunch, brunch, and dinner. A neighborhood spot where locals congregate and New Orleans-style hospitality rules. Indeed it does. Katie's in Mid-City.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralox, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralox technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralox is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria has over 15 specialty sandwiches, a big 10-ounce burger, and some of the best pizza in New Orleans. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End.
Big day at Channel 6. Nash Roberts retiring. Fletcher Mackle joins us to discuss. Hello?
Hello?
I was just saying Nash Roberts retired. Big day at Channel 6.
Yep, it is indeed. Nash Roberts, he was on the air for, what would that probably make it now? 75 years?
119 years he was doing the weather. Get with it, Fletch. Al Duckworth taking over. Are you fired up to work with Al Duckworth?
So, yes, but, Margaret Orr, 45 years. I believe she is the second longest tenured on-air TV person in the history of the New Orleans market.
Wow. That sounds about right. 40.
Alec Gifford was first. Alec Gifford was 52 years.
Wow.
And Margaret is next. And, so.
Wow. I know this Johnson guy's got 39 years.
Yeah. So it's a long time. It's
that
one of those things where it's like, wow.
What are you, like halfway home to Margaret?
21. It'll be 22 this year.
Pretty close.
Not almost halfway. Yeah. So.
Yep. And ironically, you started in weather.
I didn't really start in weather. I dabbled in weather in Alexandria. I think starting in weather would be a strong, misconception.
You had a green screen you were working with?
Oh yeah, it was awful. I was terrible. Like filling in. I think I've told you this before, just for your listeners to clarify. I was doing news and sports in Alexandria 25 years ago in the late 1990s, 26 years ago. It was like, hey, we need your help in weather. Here, we're going to train you for a couple of days. Do your best. And it ended up being like a little 6-month deal that I do it like a couple of days a week. And I was not fantastic.
Baton Rouge kind of had, I guess, the Margaret Orr of weather was this guy, Pat Shingleton. Were you familiar with him at all?
Yeah, his son is now like the main anchor there.
Okay. Pat was just a trip. And, but, Margaret was a little more serious, but the green screen had just kind of come into play, I guess. Late 80s, early 90s. Would that be about right?
I guess.
And I'm working over at Channel 2. Like, I had 2 little stints over there when I was a student at LSU. And literally, Pat's so crazy that he'd just in the middle of weather, he'd click on a little thing. And, he'd be like, boy, in Minneapolis, it was snowing. Look at the snow they had. This poor guy can't get his car out of the ditch. I'm going to go over there and help him. And then he'd bend over and use his hands like he's helping to push the car out the ditch, and the car would come out the ditch, and he'd act like he helped push it. That was his green screen experience. Did you do any crazy antics with the green screen?
I did not. I was just so nervous that it was like, that it was like, I'm going to and you overthink things when you're young and everything is like, I'm glad I took this serious and all, but it's one of those things where I was like, if I mess up, am I going to ruin my career? Am I going to do something, that like, and this is before social media even existed in the late 90s, but I still was like, I want to be a professional. I want to do a good job. I want to make sure they know I'm a team player. So I did not do anything insane or crazy or anything like that.
Yeah, I remember I was making like a tape for sports or something at Channel 2, and I had my regular gig that I was doing work in there, but that day I wore like a suit because after the news they were going to stick around and let me do a little tape. And for me, it's like, the most important day. And for now, I'm looking back on it. Every single person working there's like, I got to stick around 4 minutes, let this Johnson kid do a little audition tape. And I know I'm on some gag reel somewhere in Baton Rouge. Some jerk just sped up the teleprompter while I was doing it, and I sped up speaking for a little while till I just flailed my hand going, what the hell, And I know some people laughed at that, so I'm sure that's on a tape. Yeah, my early stuff, Fletch, I think we've had this discussion. It's just really bad. It's not like laugh at bad. It'd be laugh at. Yeah, I guess you'd be laughing at, not with. It's just horrible. Like not like, oh gosh, that was you at a young age. It's like, that's you, just not professional and terrible. Those are my early tapes.
Yeah, like I said, I was looking back at some of my stuff in Alexandria the other day, and I'm glad, they gave me a chance to go there and be bad.
Yep.
Because I learned a lot, but man, oh man, I look back at some of that stuff and, like anybody early in their career, you see like young actors, and I'm not comparing myself to like an actor or an actress, when they're like in a commercial or they have a guest starring role. And then next thing you know, they learn, they evolve, they grow, they get better. Like that's, or like a minor league baseball player, an A-ball. And it's like, oh, that was rough. Yet they keep growing and learning and developing and kind of get their way to where they want to go. I mean, I look back at some of that stuff I was doing in Alexandria and think, oof, this is rough.
Hey, any thoughts, much about this potential LSU arena? Yesterday, I had TAF attorney Charles Landry on and Cody Warsham, the associate AD, and pretty amazing, about $350 million, kind of following this Texas model where an investment group builds the building. It's on LSU's campus. LSU sports gets, 85, 90 dates a year. The investors get all the other dates. They're trying to lure concerts and the circus and the ice capades and whatever can generate them money. But the beautiful thing, LSU gets basically a brand new state-of-the-art $350 million arena for their sports teams. And Baton Rouge gets concerts. They're back on like the concert and event map where right now they don't have any venues. Anyway, it was a pretty interesting conversation. Looks like LSU is going to get a palace.
Yeah, and again, like I said, I know we talked about it a little bit last week when I was up at LSU covering the game. Like I think it's going to happen. And look, I hate to use the word dump, but the PMAC is archaic and really, considering it's the flagship university, I mean, look, McNeese, and I know the terrible tragedy they dealt with, the storms there, has a basketball complex and a sports complex that's amazing. UNO, rebuilt after Hurricane Katrina, is 10 times better than the PMAC. So Devlin, which is tiny, ever since the kind of the upgrade, I would say is better. I mean, the PMAC, they've got that front part on it, which is really nice now. But that's not really the arena. That's kind of an extension where the monuments are, where the offices are, kind of but the newer area that you enter opposite the football stadium. But the stadium itself is old and dated and either needs to be completely blown up and redone or modernized in a way that almost redoes the whole thing from the ground up. So it's not, they need it. And again, I've told you this before, like, I do think if they're going to work with the city of Baton Rouge and they want to do some kind of like, partnership with the public flagship university and the city, I don't know the logistics. Again, if we were talking about a New Orleans arena, I would be more invested in it. I'm not saying I'm not invested in this, but I don't live in Baton Rouge. I don't cover politics in Baton Rouge. I don't follow the inner workings of government in Baton Rouge as closely about like what could happen there for, a partnership and stuff like that. The one thing I do know is that it is more than time for the PMAC to either get an upgrade that is, massive, or a brand new state-of-the-art complex that can house best and other sports as well.
Yeah, it was interesting, the interview with Charles Landry. You might want to give it a listen. It's a community arena for LSU and Baton Rouge on the LSU campus. They'll never redo the PMAC for sports, and I don't think they'll ever tear it down because they're now saying it's historic. They get tax credits. They're going to retrofit it into offices or some type of, rec space for students, or turn it into some kind of a positive over time. And it'll remain the Pete Maravich Assembly Center. But they just said today's concerts, Fletch, and any kind of events, the roof isn't tall enough. It can't hold any weight. Same thing with the Centroplex or River Center. So they'd have to dump $100 million plus in the PMAC, and it would just be for LSU athletics, never for concerts. And then the Centroplex would be like another $100 million, so they could hang video boards and lights and pyrotechnic crap for concerts. So they just fit. After all that, they're like, this is a waste of time. A private company will fund the whole thing. It's got to be on LSU's campus. It's going to be for more than LSU sports, but they're going to be the flagship. So I think that's let me
just follow up and say this. And again, this isn't like the defining moment of why, but it's just an example that lends itself to why you need something new. And it's a small thing, but I went to the game last week and I saw one of my mother's friends who is a season ticket holder. She's a big LSU women's basketball fan. And I saw her outside when we were walking up. Phones don't work in the PMAC. Like, that's how archaic it is. So imagine if you got a concert or an event. And then I saw, and they'll remain nameless, I saw one of the broadcasters with one of the networks there when we went in the media entrance, which was by the statues, saying some, I kind of leaned into it because I say the same thing. We're in 2024.
I can't make a phone call. Hang on, Fletch. Let me knock out a break. We'll come right back. We're visiting with Fletcher Mackel. Fridays with Fletch.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
For over 120 years, New Orleans' very own Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you. It's time to relax. The Woodhouse Day Spa, Metro New Orleans' premier day spa experience, now with 5 area locations. For a day of relaxation or maybe just a quick 1-hour getaway, the Metro area's premier day spa experience is at the Woodhouse Day Spa. And now 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and our newest location in Mandeville. The Woodhouse Day Spa, woodhousespas.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
My Sittu, that's Arabic for grandmother, used to make the best football kibbe. You can experience kibbe just like my grandmother used to make, and so many other Middle Eastern favorites on the streetcar line. Lebanon's Cafe. The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Hey, the 4 o'clock hour this afternoon brought to you by Lebanon's Cafe. They're on Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn. Outdoor dining. Enjoy some of the finest Lebanese food anywhere. Right on Carrollton, right on the streetcar line, under the oak trees. Enjoy this weather, outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe. And speaking of this weather, boy, I've been running air conditioning sometimes, heat overnight, not running the unit at all. If you ever need air conditioning or heat help, Rivers City's Total Maintenance is there. Honest air conditioning and heating experts that come immediately. If you ever need heat or air conditioning help, NOLAAC.com is all you need to know. NOLAAC.com. So, Fletch, you were saying like outsiders, media members, they come into the PMAC and they're like, this is a joke.
Yeah, and look, I mean, I get like everything you said. I agree with that. They need it. I hope it's just what you're outlining. Like, it sounds fantastic, kind of like a private public, if you will, partnership that benefits the university, but that modernizes it. But when you talk about these things matter, when concert promoters and big ticket events and big sporting events want to come, they know, hey, are the acoustics terrible? Yeah. Does the roof stink? Yeah. Is the infrastructure very good? No, it's awful. It's terrible. Like those.
No, that's why they don't go. When's the last time you've been to Baton Rouge for a concert?
No, that's what I mean. And here's the thing. Like that's the point I'm trying to make is, and I go, some people be like, who cares? You're not supposed to be on your phone. Watch the game. It's like, I hear you. But like the fact that it's 2024 and if you got to get an emergency phone call from someone.
You want to pull up ESPN or something and check another game, whatever. It's 2024. Enough said. It's a joke.
Right.
It's a joke.
And the fact that people come in from out of town, like that are here to broadcast the game, and they have to leave the building and go outside.
That's an embarrassment. Put some booster in there temporarily till you move to a new place. Yeah, that's crazy because they ain't moving to a new place for like 4 years or so, 5 years until this $1/3 billion showplace is going to open. Hey, the Pels have been on a roll. Now the Clippers are starting to play a little better, kind of bouncing back 4 and 5 seed. Dallas is a game out. They're the 6 seed. It's kind of a Pels could end up the 4, the 5, the 6, pretty much anywhere, right? There's 9 games left, 10 left?
Yeah, 9 left, and they could be. Look, they could still fall to the play-in. I think they're going to be clear. 1, 2, and 3 are basically set. 1 and 2, it's Denver, Oklahoma City. 3, I think Minnesota, even though they're playing without Karl Anthony Towns, I think that they're still going to hold on to 3. They still have about a 3 or 4 game cushion. They need to close really bad to not finish 3. And then you're right. You're talking about that grouping at 4, 5, 6, and it certainly looks like it could be Clippers, Pelicans, Mavericks in some form or fashion right there. Look, the Suns, though, the biggest letdown in the NBA this year, and they're climbing right now.
They're on a tear. Yeah, they could slip into the play-in.
Right, well, they're in the play-in right now. They're at 7, but they could get clear of the play-in. Dallas is rolling. Luka's playing great, but Zion's playing great. I mean, I think, I still think the Pelicans are going to be strong enough to finish 4, 5, or 6. I don't think they're going to slip to 7 or 8 in the play-in. I think they're going to finish 4, 5, or 6.
I was thinking Phoenix. Who's on a tear? Houston lately, where they're almost in the play-in?
Yeah. I mean, Houston's on a tear right on. So 7
they're like 10 straight or something ridiculous.
Kings, 9 is the Lakers, 10 is the Warriors, 11 is the Rockets. But the Warriors haven't been playing great, and they're still dealing with more craziness from Draymond, and the Rockets are playing a little better. The Rockets may bump the Warriors out of the play-in. And so the problem with the play-in is you've got the aging teams with the superstars like LeBron and Steph and Durant. You don't want to play those teams in a one-game winner-take-all because, look, I don't think those teams are going to make a run to the finals, but because Steph Curry has 5 rings and they were the greatest team of a generation, one game they could knock you out. Same with the Lakers. So, if you get into a play-in against them, that's not great.
No, the Pels need to be 4. The Pels need to be 4 or 5. They had a great win with the Bucks last night.
Let me say this: 3's not bad either. 6 isn't bad either. If you get a 3-6 matchup with Minnesota, that's not the worst thing in the world. So as long as they're 4, 5, or 6,
yeah. That's a good
okay
point. And you'd like them to be 4 just for home court in case it goes that far. But you're right, not all that's significant.
Let me just preface this by saying something. That's overblown in my mind. The only thing people keep talking about home court. Okay, you open the series at home. Great. You open the series at home. But both teams are fully guaranteed the game 1 and 2, then game 3 and 4 in their own place. The only thing home court advantage gets you is game 7 at your place. And that's meaningful. I'm not saying it's not. But to me, we haven't seen a lot of game 7s in recent history. So to me, it's more about matchups. And I don't think finishing 6 is bad because I actually think the Pelicans have played well against Minnesota. Minnesota has no track record of been there, done that. They're good.
But you also get the first 2 at home, right?
You'll be the first 2 at home.
And 7 if necessary. And home court in any pro sports league, the NBA, it's most significant. But I'm with you. Hey, real quick, because we only got 30 seconds. What's going to happen tomorrow? That's a battle, LSU and UCLA ladies hoops.
Yeah, look, I watched a lot of UCLA this week. That Kiki Rice girl, the sophomore, is fantastic. Stubbs, the big, is fantastic. I think UCLA is really, really good. But look, Mulkey Magic last year was a real thing. I would not discount this team finding a way in getting it done and moving on. But look, UCLA is really, and I mean really good.
Fletch, always a pleasure. It's Fletcher Mackel, WDSU Channel 6 Sports. That's Blue Boy, barking up a storm. He's fired up about Friday. Plus, Frank Brigsten's going to join us, chef extraordinaire, in about 15 minutes. Stick around, New Orleans and beyond. Corey Johnson with you. You're on the neutral ground. Fantasy Friday, 5 o'clock Power Hour next.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 5 p.m.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home.
Hi, this is Joey Helm. My dad, Bunky Helm, had a vision of a locally family-owned store serving the residential and commercial paint needs of New Orleans. I think Dad would be proud of today's Helm Paint and Decorating, and here's why. We have the best technical staff in the business, providing the best color matching service in Southeast Louisiana. Perfect matching for any color and any brand. And we'll save your colors so you don't have to save those old cans. Helm Paint offers free 2-hour delivery. Our in-store decorators will assist you on deciding what color and type of paint to best showcase your home. But most importantly, as your local independent Benjamin Moore dealer, our products provide the greatest value in the paint industry. Superior coverage, and Benjamin Moore paint simply covers better and lasts longer. New Orleans is a city of vibrant color, and no one else provides the paints of New Orleans like Helm Paint and Decorating. Visit any of our 6 locations or online at helmpaint.com.
Helm Paint, let us do you right. Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes on magazine, as unique as you.
Ford F-150, #1 seller in America. What about in the USA? let's see, what about in the world? Who sells more trucks than Ford? Nobody. It's because the Lamar team is the real team. All that makes it happen is one goal. Everybody having a great experience at Lamar Ford. We became number one for a reason, because we're good. And we need to prove it every day, every deal, all of the time.
Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh, Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, Schlemiel, Schlemazel, Hasenbemp Incorporated. We're gonna do it. Give us any chance.
Yes. Laverne and Shirley reruns. We're fired up. We're going back 45 years. Season 4, episode 9. That'll run from now until 5:30. Then we're going to go to season 7, episode 13, and that's going to run from 5:30 till 6. It's Laverne and Shirley reruns from decades ago, coming your way on the neutral ground. I'm gone for the weekend. See you Monday, straight up 4 o'clock. Be there. Ah, there he is, Mr. Drew Brees, live from La Jolla, saying, dude, you're not going anywhere. You got the 5 o'clock power hour. It's a fantasy Friday. You got to love that. 100% of the work week for most of us in the books. 100% of the weekend smack dab in front of you. Smell the roses. We like putting a spotlight on this very moment. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. We do it by blowing the 5 o'clock whistle. Oh, yeah. You got what? The lunch pail under one arm, the hard hat under the other. You've just left the plant. 40 hours in the books. Weekend. Yeah, you're right. Hey, the 5 o'clock whistle appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. 5 o'clock whistle. What's that? What do you do after work? You head to Katie's in Mid-City. And with this weather, you dine outside at Katie's. Tables wrapping around the building, that corner building. Corner Iberville at Telemachus. Couple of blocks behind Bracata's ice cream joint there on Carrollton. In between Carrollton and Doc Francis Parkway. In between Bienville and Canal Street. The quintessential New Orleans neighborhood restaurant, and full of flat screen TVs. Tomorrow night's Pelicans action will be on the flat screen. Major League Baseball, Premier League Soccer, whatever you like. It'll be on the flat screens at Katie's, plus huge portions, great for sharing. It's a Mid-City mainstay. It's Katie's 5 o'clock whistle, appropriately brought to you by Katie's in Mid-City. Carolyn joins us in New Orleans on the program. What's happening, Carolyn?
Hi, Corey. I was watching your program yesterday. You were talking about panhandling, and it brought up, I live on St. Charles Avenue, so I'm using that as my transportation route most of the time. And one day a stoplight caught me on the corner of Louisiana Avenue and St. Charles. And there was a man panhandling, but he had brought his golf clubs with him.
Oh, boy.
And he was playing golf on the neutral ground until the stoplight caught the cars. And it was very amusing. I thought to myself, only in New Orleans.
Yeah, they used to have a guy, I forget his name, Memphis Mike might have been his name. He was right by the Costco. And he had a dog-like little wire set up, a dog walk. So his dog the leash was hooked to like a tether that was hooked to like a post and a tree. So the dog couldn't get to the street, but could move like 10 feet in each direction. And then this guy had a tennis racket with no strings, and he would play tennis like he's having a tennis match with someone. And then he either had golf clubs or would pretend he was hitting a golf club. He'd like get over it and pretend he's hitting a golf ball, something. But yeah, I mean, a lot of these homeless folks, they, some of them, I think it's fun and jokes. Some of them probably need some medication or whatever. But I used to tighten up Memphis Mike with $1 every now and then.
This man did not look homeless, and it looked like he was just smart enough to hit the ball while the cars were streaming.
Wow.
And then when they were stopped by the red light, that's when he could pick up something, maybe.
Yeah. Earlier in the week, there's legislation to outlaw panhandling in Louisiana. We were talking about it. I brought up a few examples.
You were talking about that yesterday, and I think you make some very good points.
Well, thanks. Thanks so much. And thanks for watching and listening to the program.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Thanks so much. Nice compliments. No, they panhandling, like 3 things that just stick out to me. I remember this couple under the West Bank Expressway, and I was doing some like remote broadcasts over time. So I saw them a lot. And then one day I saw them kind of packing up their stuff and leaving, and they walked about a half a block away and got into a Lincoln Town car and drove away. Now, I'm not saying it was like brand new and plush, but it wasn't dented up and junky. They just basically pulled the panhandling gimmick every day and got in a town car and drove home, I guess. Another guy, Elysian Fields at I-610, I give him some like French fries I had from McDonald's. I drive off, I look in the rearview mirror, he just throws them on the ground. And then lastly, it's Esplanade at Claiborne's, about a half block from Little Dizzy's restaurant. And I'm like cooking a U-turn to park across the street from Little Dizzy's, and I see these like kind of hippie types, look like northern kids, kind of educate. I'm just guessing. And hey, we're just going to hitchhike around the country, free ride. Wow, check out America, dude. So anyway, this Domino's pizza truck pulls up. The dude on the neutral ground starts waving to him and walks across the street and hands the homeless people the pizza. They pay for it in cash, and then the homeless dude's on a cell phone. So he obviously called the Domino's, gave the address across the street of a house. Domino's showed up, acted like, I'm just on the neutral ground for a little while. So I'm just like, wow, the homeless couple, young, they're like 20, 25, have a cell phone, ordering Domino's to the neutral ground where they're begging for money, whatever. And then the husband and wife that were like 60, begging for money all day for weeks at a time. And they walk to a town car that they have parked somewhere like around the corner. And then the dude I gave the French fries to just throw them into the ground. I think another example, I asked someone one time, well, work for food. You want to get in? I got some yard work. They're like, well, no, I don't really want to work for food. I'm like, well, you got to change your sign. Anyway, panhandling may become illegal in Louisiana. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Blue Plate mayonnaise. The big jar at Rouse's is under $3 right now. I think $2.97. I think the special is at Rouse's for the big jar of Blue Plate mayonnaise. It's on your grocer's shelf. Some of you have been confused lately. Where's my Blue Plate mayonnaise? It's there. It's always been there. But there's a brand new label. The label you're used to is gone. Brand new label. New look, but same legendary taste. That means a new label. But that Blue Plate mayonnaise you love, same stuff inside that jar or squeeze bottle. A New Orleans family tradition, Blue Plate mayonnaise. Corey Johnson with you. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. We love to eat, don't we? Down here. We live to eat. We don't eat to live. We live to eat. It's different. Lunch, dinner, we look forward to these things. Blue Plate mayonnaise, just part of the, fabric of the city, how we do it. Frank Brigsten's going to join us in 5 minutes. Going to find out how he does it. Love visiting with Frank Brigsten on a Friday. Nothing better. I mean, this is a James Beard award-winning chef, a world-class level chef. His restaurant, Brigsten's, is nearly 38 years old. I mean, almost 4 decades at it. That little Creole cottage in the Riverbend just churning out some fantastic food. So, yeah, on a Friday, I love visiting with Frank. Plus, he's just so humble, laid back. You wouldn't think he's a world-renowned chef, a James Beard award-winning chef. You wouldn't think this is the guy that owns one of the finest restaurants in the city, a restaurant that could be in any city, New York, San Fran, and it'd be one of their finest restaurants. Frank Brigsten in less than 5 minutes. Going to talk a little food, talk a little crawfish, keeping my fingers crossed. Want that crawfish etouffee. That is a dish that is just so mediocre to bad at 99% of the places it's served. Don't want to eat that tomatoey, just average at best crawfish etouffee. I want something good. I want something special. Ideally brown sauce based, brown roux, not orange or tomato. That's what Frank churns out. Incredible. We'll find out. Frank Brigsten joins us next. From his Riverbend restaurant, Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Don't go anywhere.
Custom window treatments can enhance the look and value of your home. At Helm Paint and Decorating, we're proud to offer custom plantation-style window shutters by Scandia. Perfect for any window, including large frames, French doors, sliding doors, and arches. American-made SL300 shutters are available in many colors to match your personal decor. We'll come out to measure, and you'll receive fast delivery. Plus, they're virtually maintenance-free.
Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore. Let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
The Port of New Orleans is the gateway to global commerce, the economic engine that moves Louisiana and our country forward. For more than 125 years, Port Nola has continued to deliver the goods we use each and every day, by river, rail, and by road. No matter what, it all happens right here, delivering Louisiana's future at the Port of New Orleans, your working river. Learn more about your Port of New Orleans. Visit portnola.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NolaAC.com, your cool spot.
There's a Middle Eastern restaurant that's less than 5 minutes from where Causeway and River Road meet, Lebanon's Cafe. Convenient to Old Metairie and Old Jefferson. Carrollton at Jeanette on the streetcar line, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com. Dave Miette Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miette, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamar Automotive Complex is something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We're doing all makes and models. It doesn't have to have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
In New Orleans, we don't eat to live. We live to eat.
More is better.
Scott Craig of Katie's.
That is our slogan. More is better at Katie's. It means more of everything. Not just more food, more smiles, more friendship, more love. More. When you do something, you have to do it right. It's all about more, and it's all more of the good things.
Get more at Katie's Restaurant in Mid-City.
Hey, Tiger Town Helm Paint and Decorating has 4 locations in Baton Rouge with free 2-hour delivery in the capital city. And that means West Baton Rouge too, like Brewley, Port Allen, East Baton Rouge, Prairieville, even Gonzales. 4 Baton Rouge area Helm Paint and Decorating locations, high quality Benjamin Moore paints, and free 2-hour delivery in the capital city. 7 Metro New Orleans locations, East Bank, West Bank, including Mandeville, Covington, North Shore. They got you covered. Let them steer you in the right direction when you got to paint in Metro New Orleans. And now when you got to paint in Metro Baton Rouge, do it once, do it right. Helm Paint and Decorating. Every Friday, right around 5:20, we head to the River Bend. Little Creole cottage, about 100 years old. Brigtson's has been in there for about 38 years straight now. Owner, head chef, Frank Brigsten joins us again from the River Bend. What's happening, Frank?
TGIGF. It's Good Friday, y'all.
Yep. Happy Good Friday, everybody. Is it more seafood oriented than normal on a Good Friday for you at Brightson's or what?
Yeah, I think so.
What's the hot item seafood wise we got going at Brightson's, Frank? What's a good Lenten meal?
Of course, your barbecue shrimp. That's flying out the window. And what's really, our most popular best-selling entree is the broiled fish with crab crust and a lemon crab sauce, garnished with sauteed mushrooms. And that fish tonight and this week has been sheep's head. This is the time of year when we see a good supply and availability on sheep's head, which is my favorite fish.
I was going to say, that's like your favorite, huh?
And that'll play out towards the end of April as those fishermen start getting ready for brown shrimp season.
So I got
while we can.
I got speckled trout. I got flounder, and you're going with sheep's head.
I'll take the sheep's head.
Yeah, no, I love it, man. It's awesome. That's interesting.
The Rodney Dangerfield of fish don't get no respect.
Why do you love it so much?
It's just so delicious. It's like me. It's tender, mild, and flaky. And it's got it's hard to clean. You got to know how to do that. But and the yield is very low too. You only get a 20% yield on sheep's head, whereas with speckled trout or something like that, you get 48%.
Wow.
So it's a lot of body. But anyway, I do love it, and it's very versatile. You can do almost anything with it. But broiling is just fabulous.
What's the pecan fish tonight?
Flounder. We're getting beautiful flounder out of Mississippi, and pan fried with roasted pecans and Meunier sauce. Also a very big seller.
Yummy.
Seafood platter was selling $1 million, and probably will sell $1 million tonight. But what's really got me excited is it's finally strawberry season at Brightson's. I got 3 flats from my farmer that I buy from Miss Heather at John Dale Farms. 3 flats of the prettiest, largest, and most delicious strawberries I've ever seen in my life. and I've been around a while.
Yeah, they're not even like red. They're like maroon. They're like
they're like ruby.
Yeah,
deep dark ruby color all the way through. There's no white in the middle virtually.
Yep.
And our pastry chef James Pierce today made everything we need for our tres leches cake with strawberries, strawberry sauce, and chocolate whipped cream.
Wow.
This is a winner, man. So good. And he executed it perfectly.
Chocolate.
James has been, he's been with me about 8 months, but he just became pastry chef about 2 weeks ago. And that's what he's been waiting for.
Wow.
And he is as good a baker as I've ever seen. Everything he executes is flawless. Our desserts are perfect.
Wow. That's incredible. Frank Brigsten's with us for a few minutes. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. What else seafood-wise? Crawfish.
Crawfish was tough this week. Corey, when you and I were growing up, I bet your mom did too. My mom made roast leg of lamb. That was Easter for us. And now, the last 20, even 30 years, it's all about crawfish. It's the most popular weekend for boiled crawfish. In fact, my neighbor behind me was boiling all afternoon. It smells like Zatarans all through the neighborhood.
Nice.
And so, high demand, low supply. There weren't any fresh crawfish tails available for this weekend. I got what I need. But they probably sold them for live, and next week we'll get back to normal. There's a definite rhythm to the crawfish market, Corey. Mardi Gras is the first big day. Easter is the peak of demand for boiled crawfish. And then after Easter, next week, you'll start to see supplies and get a little better, but also the price will start dropping from now till end of April. Crawfish will be at their best price.
What are you doing with the crawfish you are getting? The cornbread?
Yeah, we're doing crawfish cornbread baked to order on our seafood platter, a little ramekin of that, served with a jalapeno smoked corn butter. Absolutely delicious. We get a lot of side orders for that too. It's so good.
Yep.
And we're doing on the seafood platter also grilled redfish with a crawfish and pistachio lime sauce. Really lovely combination.
Any hope of the crawfish egg roll in the future, or may miss it this year?
Once the supply gets better, and I can get my staff involved in it, yeah.
And even maybe the crawfish and corn
I got
soup?
a lot of young people on my staff right now, so we're just trying to get them, trained up, and then we can start adding stuff.
Crawfish and corn soup. I'm clearing my throat.
I got your list. I got your list.
I'm clearing my throat.
Yeah, right.
Crawfish etouffee. Sorry, Frank.
I saw Jason over at Siders had beautiful large crawfish today that he was boiling. That's always a good place. We're going to go. We were going to kind of host our family Sunday at the house, but everybody's got plans. So Marna and I wanted to go out. So we're gonna go to Frankie and Johnny's and have crawfish there and some seafood and enjoy ourselves with our good friend David McKelvey, who owns that place.
Yeah, we're there right off Chapatoulas, in between Nashville and State.
Yep.
Wow.
And if y'all want some of these strawberries, I mean, you can come see me and get the best version of it. But Miss Heather sells at the Crescent City Farmers Market. That's Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday, all different locations at different times and stuff like that. But she's got the best.
Where are they coming out of, Frank?
Ponchatoula.
Yeah, nice. Yeah.
Yeah, she and her husband have been doing it for many, many years, and she's my go-to for strawberries.
I think Ponchatoula, Hammond, Springfield, Amite, they're all pretty good, huh?
Oh, yeah, same.
Yep.
All the same.
Yep. It's incredible, just like North Shore strawberry country.
Like when you buy the little pint of strawberries, the little green wicker basket.
Yep.
With the size of these berries, Corey, be surprised if there's more than 8 or 9 berries in that little pint.
Some of them look like, they're like a hybrid, like they're too connected to each other, like, the
you
Siamese twins.
Sometimes.
Yep. Yeah, they're gigantic, and you're so right. So good.
Yes, indeed.
Frank, any final thoughts till we do it again next week?
Have a lovely weekend, everyone. Enjoy your holiday. I know some of you are off Mondays. Enjoy the long weekend if you got it. And spend some good time with your family and friends.
Oh, I forgot. You got 30 more seconds?
Yeah.
Whipped cream recipe for those strawberries.
It's our standard whipped cream recipe, and we add cocoa powder. So it's 1-1-1. 1 quart of cream, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon of vanilla. And to that, we add 1 cup of, half a cup of cocoa powder.
You're talking about for the chocolate whipped cream, right?
Yeah.
And if you don't want the chocolate, you just don't do the cocoa powder, right?
Exactly.
And what's the breakdown again? The 3-3-3, what's the breakdown?
1-1-1. 1 quart of cream, 1 cup of sugar, 1 teaspoon vanilla.
Wow, got it.
You can scale that down, of course.
Yeah.
And half a cup of cocoa for that. But what's fun about it is we whip our cream by hand. I insist upon that. And the chocolate whipped cream, because of the cocoa, whips twice as fast, so It's not as much work.
Wow, that's interesting how that helps it whip.
I know.
How long does it take with a whisk to make the whipped cream? Like a couple of minutes?
I would say 8 minutes.
Gosh.
Like that.
Wow.
It takes a while.
Yeah, no doubt. Frank, always a pleasure, brother.
Thank you, Corey. Have a lovely Easter, everyone, and we'll talk to you next week.
Happy Good Friday. Happy Easter. Thanks, Frank. That's Frank Brigsten. Give him a call, 861-7610. They might have an opening tonight or tomorrow night. 861-7610. You know what is a great gimmick? You've got that place you can go to anytime, like the neighborhood joint. You go all the time. You don't need a reservation. If you know you're going to that place, call Brigtsen's before you walk out the door and just see if they had a cancellation. Then all of a sudden, like, yeah, we do. Well, you get here in 15 minutes. We got a table for you. The neighborhood joint, you go tomorrow night. You go anytime to the neighborhood joint. It's your ace in the hole. It's always there. But squeezing in on Brigtsen's when someone cancels, and it happens more often than you think, even on a Friday night like tonight or tomorrow night, Saturday night. 861-7610. Brigtsen's in the Riverbend. And yeah, Lenten specials. You can go all seafood. Tough to beat. 861-7610. Brigtsen's in the Riverbend. Corey Johnson with you. A Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Young's Dry Cleaning's been with you since 1940. Before this country got into World War II, Young's Dry Cleaning was taking care of you and your clothes. And they're still doing it. A New Orleans institution. Want to experience the best dry cleaner? Young'sDryCleaning.com. Young'sDryCleaning.com. If you missed the 4 o'clock hour today, you missed a lot. Our usual crew on a Fantasy Friday. Fletcher Mackle joined us for a few minutes. Michael Hecht from Greater New Orleans, Inc. for a few minutes. And yeah, if you're just joining us, you just missed Frank Brigsten talking food. Love visiting with Frank. And it's not like, I think some people think it's like a paid thing, or I'm hyping his restaurant or promoting his, it's really not. It's like, I'm going to ask him what he's got on the menu and what he's serving and what fish and all that, and just go from there, and what dishes, and it's changing and new stuff. It's more about just New Orleans and food, and kind of, I guess, an indirect thing is we're mentioning Brigtsen's and he's telling you what's on the menu and all that, but it's not like it's not a paid thing. It's not a commercial. It's just him coming on as a guest. I don't get free food when I go there. He doesn't come here and I write him a check. He's just nice guy that I started having him on, and just he liked coming on, and I was like, can we do it about once a month or once a week? And it just evolved, and I'm thankful. Are you kidding? I mean, normally a James Beard award-winning chef like Frank Brigsten would demand some compensation, but Frank Brigtsen's a humble cat. And at that level where 90% of chefs would be demanding compensation, Frank's just like, I enjoy doing it. I like talking food. I like visiting with people. I like informing people of stuff. Crawfish cornbread. Makes me want to go get some of that. Are you kidding me? With a little jalapeno, crawfish in the cornbread? Really? Wow. So smart. You're like, I want some. Yeah, Frank and I had a cornbread discussion because there's a restaurant downtown, big time chef. They serve cornbread and it is not sweet. And I asked the waitress, I was like, is there something wrong with the cornbread? It's not sweet. She's like, oh, no, we don't put any sugar in our cornbread. We're like old school. It's like, I'm like, I'm assuming some poor folks at once upon a time did not put sugar because it was expensive in their cornbread. And there's a version of cornbread that's not sweet and it's pure cornbread. But I don't know, a city boy, whatever. I'm used to, believe it or not, like the Jiffy stuff in the box, which, by the way, is like from Pittsburgh or something. It is north of the Mason-Dixon. That is some damn good cornbread. I'm not saying it's better than your grandma's or your mom's homemade, but that Jiffy in a box is damn good, and it's got sugar in it. It's sweet. I like sugar in my cornbread. It's got to be a little sweet. I mean, Southern cornbread. They have this place in Atlanta, the OK Cafe. They bake their cornbread in a muffin tray. So you're getting like this muffin of cornbread, and it's got kernels of corn in the cornbread. Kernels of corn in the cornbread. Pretty damn good. Piping hot. Put a little butter on top. That's another good thing. Cornbread's almost like a sweet potato. You can. I like butter, but you don't have to have it. Cornbread's like good, just plain. At least the one that's sweet, like a sweet potato. You can almost eat it plain. It's incredible. The underutilized, undermarketed sweet potato, a.k.a. yam. It's better than like a baked potato. And sweet potato French fries, when someone knows what they're doing, wow, yummy. Corey Johnson with you on a Thursday. Every day, Monday through Friday, every weekday. 2 big hours on the radio, 90 minutes on television. We're on YouTube, The Neutral Ground with Corey Johnson. It's all brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kennebra on the car corner at Williams Boulevard at I-10, right on the corner, right on the price. Now, you can think anything you want, and you can think this is some kind of gimmick or joke. It's not. This is just reality. Every car on every car lot, everywhere, like a Ford dealership or a Lincoln dealership like Ronnie Lamarck has, every car has an individual loan on that car. You don't borrow $1 million and buy $1 million of cars. Every car has a loan on it. So every day that car stays on the lot, for that month, there's a set, interest amount being paid. The next month, more interest that has to be paid on that vehicle. So the end of the month, coupled with a Saturday, damn good day to go purchase a vehicle. It really is. You could almost go to the Lamarck Automotive Complex and be like, what car's been on the lot a few months that you're tired of paying that interest every month on? Where's that car that's, been here the last few months? Lamarck Ford, the big store, over 45 years. They've got all the Ford vehicles you're looking for, trucks, SUVs, the Mustang. Lamarck Lincoln, the black label Lincoln SUVs, out of this world. Talk about luxury. Pre-owned, service, repairs, parts. They got you covered at the Lamarck Automotive Complex. Right on the corner, right on the price. Williams at I-10 in Kennebra. And now the legendary Ford truck dealership for over 80 years. Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway, under the Lamarck umbrella. Every day, this program brought to you by the Lamarck Automotive Complex in Kenner by the lake. And now, Lamarck Crescent City Ford on Jefferson Highway in Elmwood by the river.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot. Whatever the cities, total maintenance keeps you cool. NOLAAC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Trey Yen in Mandeville, a New Orleans tradition for over 40 years, serving the finest Louisiana-inspired Chinese cuisine. Open Tuesday through Sunday. Trey Yen.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Interlocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Interlocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Interlocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
1970 was an exciting time in New Orleans. The first Jazz Fest was held, the city hosted its first Super Bowl, and the first Helm Paint location opened on Earhart Boulevard. While the floppy disks, mood rings, and pet rocks may have come and gone since the 70s, Helm Paint has grown to become your premier source for quality Benjamin Moore products, competitive pricing, and personal service. Please visit one of our locations today and we'll meet our competitors' prices on any identical product. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, let us steer you in the right direction.
Helm Paint and Supply.
Rouse's Market is hiring. With 65 stores, full or part-time employment, and flexible scheduling, Rouse's has a job for you, or maybe even a career. Apply at any Rouse's store or online at rouses.com.
Young's Dry Cleaning has free pickup and delivery. That's right. Young's Dry Cleaning has absolutely free pickup and delivery. Home or office, East Bank or West Bank. Call Young's at 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com. Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes, a magazine as unique as you.
Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's what I said. Ooh la Leidenheimer, that's French for bread. Leidenheimer.
5 generations, family owned and operated. Leidenheimer French bread.
Here at the NOLA Coalition, we love our kids and we love our city. The people of New Orleans are standing together for a better future. By harnessing our collective resources, the NOLA Coalition will create a safer, more prosperous city for all residents. Your support is needed to help reduce violence, invest in our children, and drive generational change. Join now at nolacoalition.info.
The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center. It's open now. We fix cars and trucks. We do all makes and models. And it doesn't have to be a Ford or a Lincoln. It could be whatever you're driving. 32,000 square feet under roof. Now open at 3101 Williams Boulevard. It's all about you, the customer, getting the most for your dollar. I would say the most perfect collision center anywhere. The Lamarck Automotive Collision Center, 3101 Williams Boulevard. Go check it out.
Yeah, you right. Corey Johnson playing a little air organ. Busting up the air Hammond organ on the program. Fantasy Friday edition of the program. Yeah, you right. Thanks so much for joining us. Hey, on my Twitter at Corey Johnson, you LSU fans, you might want to check out yesterday's conversation with TAF attorney Charles Landry, Tiger Athletic Foundation attorney Charles Landry, talking about the potential new LSU Baton Rouge Community Arena on the LSU campus. A lot of interesting information. It's going to be about $350 million, like $350 million. It's going to be the finest college arena in the country, arguably. And it's going to put Baton Rouge back on the map as far as concerts and events, which right now they're not on it. When's the last time you drove up to Baton Rouge for a concert or a show? It just doesn't exist really because there isn't a facility to do it. New Orleans, there's multiple ones that can do a lot. Like the Smoothie King Center and the Superdome, they can put on any show. They can hang any screens, any lighting, any of it. It's designed for it. UNO Lakefront Arena can do a lot of that type of stuff. Hang stuff from the ceiling. Light shows, monitors. The PMAC roof is too low. It's not designed to carry a load of weight besides the roof. Same thing with the River Center Centraplex. So Baton Rouge in a quagmire. You redo the PMAC for LSU athletics. You can make it nice. You're going to spend north of $100 million. And then there's still no concerts because it's just for LSU athletics. And then if you want to make the Centraplex River Center concert ready, it's north of $100 million. And then you're limited on seating. Now, it's interesting, this new model that's being used. Normally, a public university would raise money through the legislature, state funds, taxpayer money. A TAF model could be used, Tiger Athletic Fund, a major donor donating for naming rights, whatever. If it's a private university, it's all donated, all private donors. If it's a pro sports team and they're trying to build an arena or stadium, the municipality, the city contributes, the state or the owner of the pro sports team sometimes. This new model, equity firms coming in. Now, you're going, why don't an investment firm just buy some land in a city and build an arena? Because it would just be that. It would be a brand new arena in some city with a bunch of other arenas competing or other facilities competing and no tenant, no, flagship tenant, no major tenant. You go to Baton Rouge, you build an arena just somewhere in Baton Rouge. That's fine, but what's that going to do? You build an arena downtown. That's fine. What's that going to do? You build an arena on LSU's campus, and it's the arena of LSU. Investors are all of a sudden peak interest. I could go into Baton Rouge and build an arena somewhere, buy land and build an arena. But an arena that's on LSU's campus, that's the home of the LSU sports teams. It's the LSU Tiger, all that then all of a sudden it means something. LSU gets the 80, 85 dates, what the investors want them to have. They're on TV. The arena's getting hyped. Then those investors go out and they sell the other 250 days of the year. Concerts, whatever. So they're getting what they want, an arena, an investment where they can make money. But it's got to be somewhere significant, like on the LSU campus. UT just did this model. University of Texas, $300 million arena. LSU is going to do the same thing, and it works great. It's LSU and Baton Rouge Community Arena, all LSU sports, men's basketball, women's hoops, volleyball, gymnastics, brand new state-of-the-art home, 85, 90 dates a year. LSU gets that $350 million building. The other 250 days out of the year, the private equity firm, the investors get that building. It'll be on LSU's campus. LSU, Public University, will lease the land to the TAF, the Tiger Athletic Foundation, who will sublease it to this private equity firm, to these investors. But 4 or 5 years out from the first basketball being dribbled on that court, where on LSU's campus it will be built, who knows? But it's about $350 million, like $350 million, a showcase, maybe the finest facility in all of college sports. And I'd say better chance than not it's happening. Check out the TAF attorney, Charles Landry, from yesterday's program. You can check it out on Twitter. Really interesting conversation. With this weather, how about some outdoor dining? How about Lebanon's Cafe? How about shish kebab? What restaurants have shish kebab in the city? Not many. Lebanon's Cafe has shish kebab, shrimp, beef, chicken, lamb. The shrimp shish kebab, Gulf shrimp, marinated, seasoned overnight, then grilled to perfection. Outstanding. So they got you covered for Lent at Lebanon's Cafe with the shrimp shish kebab. Or if you're not observing Lent, beef, chicken, lamb, you can do a combo, 2 of the 4. Plus you get a couple of Middle Eastern sides. Get outside. The weather's fantastic. Outdoor dining at Lebanon's Cafe, Carrollton at Jeanette, right by the streetcar barn. The Pels pick up a nice win against the Bucks last night. Yeah, those Bucks. Tomorrow, 4 o'clock, Smoothie King Center. Afternoon matchup against the Celtics. Yeah, those Celtics. These are big games. Also tomorrow, the LSU Lady Tigers are at it, taking on a pretty decent ladies team, a pseudo powerhouse, and as LSU is one. LSU, UCLA, it's a noon tip-off tomorrow afternoon, nationwide television audience on ABC. LSU 30-5, UCLA 27-6. UCLA is a 2 seed. LSU's the 3 seed. LSU's favored by 2.5. No, it's March Madness. Things change. Things are different. This LSU team all season long, this Lady Tiger team, they've never put it all together yet. Not one game, maybe a quarter, maybe some moments, but an entire game where they're just grooving, and then 2-3 games, this is their identity. It's still sort of unknown, their identity. A lot of stars, a lot of scrappy players that are stars, but everyone, where the puzzle pieces fit, where it's all just cohesive and tight, it's still a work in progress. Maybe they never get there. Maybe they do. They find their groove and they take off. Who knows? But you have the master. You got Kim Mulkey, one of the best in the business in the history of the game. So I'd never bet against Kim Mulkey, right? You can't count her out, right? Leidenheimer French bread. You can't count Leidenheimer Baking Company out. They've been baking Leidenheimer French bread right here in the city of New Orleans like they're doing today for over 125 years, since 1896. Oklahoma wasn't a state yet. And Leidenheimer's baking that French bread you love right here in the city. The official French bread in New Orleans, isn't it? Good to the last crumb. Enjoy it this weekend. Leidenheimer French bread, Leidenheimer Baking Company.
What actually lasts a lifetime? Not much, but at Helm Paint, we have something guaranteed to last a lifetime. Benjamin Moore's Regal Select. This paint and primer in one offers cutting-edge waterborne technology, smooth application, and long durability. Helm Paint and Benjamin Moore, your New Orleans paint store.
Outdoor dining, Middle Eastern cuisine, under the oak trees, Lebanon's Cafe, some of the city's finest lamb chops and shish kebab, Carrollton at Jeanette by the streetcar barn, Lebanon's Cafe.
Why wear the same old glasses that everyone else is wearing? Stand out from the crowd. Come to Art and Eyes. Art and Eyes is not your typical eyeglasses store. It's one of the finest eyewear shops in the country, right here in New Orleans, with precision-engineered prescription lenses and gorgeous high-quality frames from the heart of Europe, Japan, and the United States. Our products are thoughtfully curated, and our staff are here to help you find exactly the right frames. Art and Eyes are magazine, as unique as you.
Young's Dry Cleaning, with 2 walk-up locations with personal service. Young's on Claiborne and Young's on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview. Young's Dry Cleaning. Call 288-8381 or online at youngsdrycleaning.com.
For game-changing innovation, look to the Latrim family of companies located in Harahan. Intralocks, a Latrim company, changed the game when they invented modular plastic conveyor belts over 40 years ago. These belts and innovative Intralocks technology are transforming movement in manufacturing facilities around the world. Intralocks is a dynamic global company now hiring in production, warehousing, shipping, and more. If you want to be part of our successful team, visit Latrim.com. That's LAITRAM.com.
From the owners of Katie's in Mid-City and Bienvenue in Harahan, an old school deli with over a dozen specialty sandwiches. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria on Harrison Avenue in Lakeview between Canal Boulevard and West End. Francesca Deli and Pizzeria.
River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot. River City's total maintenance keeps you cool. NoAC.com, your cool spot.
Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com. Dave Miet Insurance Agency. Auto, home, flood, business. 504-556-0809. Dave Miet, INSagency.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, in this Lamarck Automotive Complex, there's something called Quick Lane. Tires, wheel alignments, struts, servicing your transmission. We do in all makes and models. It doesn't have been purchased from us. It's for you. It handles your lifestyle with your budget in mind. And we want to get you in and out as quick as possible. Quick Lane, you got to come see it. You're going to love the experience right there at Williams Boulevard in Kenner.
The Woodhouse Day Spa, with 5 area locations: New Orleans, Metairie, Slidell, Baton Rouge, and now Mandeville. A day of relaxation is just moments away at the Woodhouse Day Spa. WoodhouseSpas.com.
Rouse's, New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's has the only full-service grocery stores both in the French Quarter on Royal Street and in the CBD on Baronne in the old Sewell Cadillac building. The Rouse's on the river, Tchoupitoulas at Napoleon, is in a century-old warehouse. And uptown on Ferret at the corner of Valence is Rouse's all-new boutique store. With 7 locations in Orleans Parish, Rouse's is New Orleans grocery store. Rouse's Markets. Taste like home. Scott Craig of Katie's Restaurant.
All of my ingredients are fresh. Nothing comes out of a can here. Nothing. All of our seafood is Louisiana. All of our vegetables are Louisiana vegetables. It's a neighborhood restaurant.
Katie's in Mid-City.
Gotta love the crawfish at Rouse's. They know what they're doing. Hot from the pot, boiled crawfish ready to eat. Great prices, too. They boil them all day long at each and every Rouse's. You want to boil them yourself? Live by the sack, crawfish at Rouse's. No one sells more crawfish locally than Rouse's. Hot from the pot, ready to eat, or live by the sack. Tastes like home. Best quality, best selection, best price. Crawfish season. Rouse's Markets. What are you waiting on? That goes in the no-brainer category. Amazing weather day. The amazing weather continues hopefully into the weekend. I mean, I don't see rain on the horizon. I just see not the sunny thing on weather.com like today, just the sun. But it could be totally blue skies and sunny tomorrow. I'll tell you what, it's going to be nice. We wake up around 58, 59 degrees and creep into the 70s. Scary, though. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, creeping into the 80s. Me, no likey. But then next week and next weekend, supposedly another little cold front coming in and more of the 50s, 60s, and 70s. I hope this continues for a few more weeks. Couple of weeks. In 2 weeks, it'll be Friday of French Quarter Fest. In 4 weeks, it'll be Friday of first weekend of Jazz Fest, second round of Zurich Classic. So hopefully this incredible weather stretch continues. But enjoy tonight. Get outside and enjoy it. It's really nice. Hey, if you're on the Causeway, beeline into the North Shore, Why don't you fire in a big to-go order at Trey Inn? Walking in the door on a Friday night with a huge to-go order at Trey Inn, mom, dad, the kids, you're a hero. You're a hero. Critically acclaimed, nationally recognized. It's not Chinese food, it's Chinese cuisine. Curbside delivery or dine in. Foot of the causeway for you North Shore folks. You know where it's at. Just 30 minutes, 25 minutes from Lakeside Shopping Center, door to door. Trey Yen in Mandeville. You know who likes Trey Yen? Oh, boy. Boo boy, what do you love about Trey Yen? The whole speckled trout with the tongue cho sauce, both fillets. Wow. Well, you're not done yet. What else? Honey pecan shrimp. Jeez and Pete's. They've got great seafood at Trey Inn. You're right. Don't forget a big combo fried rice. Holy smokes, Blue Boy, you're not stopping. Tongue cho sauce. Wow. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you Monday.
You're on the neutral ground with Corey Johnson on TV on Cox Channel 4 and Spectrum Channel 333. Also on YouTube, on radio at NOLA Talk 93.9 FM, WSLA New Orleans.
It's 6 p.m.